All right, you've worked as a group and designed your hypothesis. You've controlled all the variables that you can even think of controlling, and the ones you can't control, your different subjects, you've defined them so you can refer to it later if you need to, and you've written your procedure, clear step-by-step instructions for your procedure. You email me then, and then I'll come and look at it, and then you check back. And when you check back, you'll see I've written a comment. And then when you look at the comment, at this one I said looks good, but you would need to clearly define your procedure steps. You'll see that the last part isn't on there. So I said this looks good, but you would need to clearly define your procedure steps. And so you guys would go back and type that in, and then email me again. And then when it looked great, I would say, looks great. You are ready to run your experiment. You can't run your experiment until I've given you the go-ahead. Well, you can, but you will lose points for it because you really need to make sure every single bit of this is right before you move on. Okay, so now I've given you the go-ahead, and so now you're ready to run it. So get your materials ready. This is the handout I downloaded from our assignments module folder for this assignment. And so make sure you have everything ready. You're going to put everybody's name on here and have places to record their pulse rate when you gather it. And I'd encourage you to have even more space for observations because you not only want the situation observations if it's a hot day or if anything that makes a difference or there's distractions, but you want to be able to put everything about that person down. So you get all of your stuff ready. You obviously you're going to need some kind of time clock because most people are timed of some type. All right, so we get that done. We're all set. And everybody runs the experiment. They don't have to do it exactly the same time, but all the people in the group need to run the experiment and get some data. Not one person does it all. So Deb and Rob both Deb had 2 people doing it, and Rob had 3. If you want yourself to be the only subject, you can do that. But you don't have very much data then. I'd encourage you to try to get family or friends to do it. But remember, if you have them doing an activity that's an exercise, make sure they don't have asthma or they don't have heart problems or anything like that that we don't want to tax their health at all. So here are the observations Deb took while they each did it. John laughed several times. He appeared to feel competitive. He was not winded. His face didn't turn red. He was breathing normally throughout the lab. I'm not saying John was in great shape. His heart worked really well. Those are analysis. That belongs in conclusion. I just write down what I see. Joyce tells me she's very competitive. She did not laugh, was very focused. She became quite winded and sweaty by the end of the activity. She had to rest. She did not speak, but her phone rang one time, and that seemed to distract her. So you get the idea of the kind of observations you want to include. Then here is the measured data of the pulse rate. Beginning pulse rate, right after stimulus, and then they had a 5 minutes after, which they would have in their procedure so that they could see if this person rebounded very quickly, which they wanted to talk about as well. So you spend a whole module getting this all written, excuse me, getting this all, everybody has a chance to run the experiment and post their information. Next, we'll talk about conclusions.